Welcome to my music channel, ladies and gentlemen. The Shaving Cream Nose Guy. How you guys doing? So, this is my brand new All About the Music channel. Right? Not channel. I've had the channel since 2013. Building a following slowly is all according to the plan. But this is my new series all about the music. And I was doing some albums that were 100% rocking over there, and I wanted to go ahead and just take the time out to present to you. I want to talk about the album American Idiot by Green Day. So we're gonna jump right in. I've got several copies of the standard edition, looking amazing there. And then I've got this one that's my deluxe book edition, looking even better here. And we're gonna go over. I think there's enough videos out there talking about the music and how good it is, or how bad it is, or how much of a sellout Green Day are, or were, or have been. So I'm going to talk about the story of American Idiot. I feel like a lot of people are still confused. I understood it after a few listens, a few philosophical brainstorms, and I've been working over the years of I would love to actually do a novel version of the story without it being a musical, or like a movie about it without it being a musical movie. But it's very unlikely the film is going to come out right now. I don't think it's ever going to at this point. It's been 16 years, and Green Day and Tom Hanks and the studios just couldn't. I don't know what happened there. It would have been a great movie. I've been waiting for it. Anyway, so we're going to dive into the story of American Idiot, just to clear things up, right? So I love this book edition. It's got times and dates. Oop, I got like these little coupons. Pretty cool, right? There's a bunch of those. You get your free exclusive bonus track. Let me take a look at that. You go to bestbuy.com/Green Day for some Napster downloads. Feel free to use that code if it still works. I don't remember. It's been 16 years, so who knows. Let's see, promo code. I will let you use it if you would like. Promo code. Woohoo! Okay, so the story of American Idiot. Okay, I'm gonna let you guys want to see the top of my head, right? That probably would be ideal. So this book version is amazing. This thing has been through some things with me. I bought it the day that it came out at Best Buy, and this thing is just awesome. I've always wondered what it said under, like, what's her name is taped over a name. You just can't quite make out what it says. I don't know if it says Amanda or something else, but there's a name written. Well, that's pretty cool. What do you guys think that says under what's her name? So we're going to go through. This is the day schedule. It's property of Jimmy, so you better stay out. And the songs go in chronological order. But first, you get some garbage, some sleeping garbage, and a television. It's a sleeping television and a pile of garbage. And a lot of people don't know this, but the album, the story, starts on February 23rd. And this is, I would say the songs are like chapters in this man's autobiography. So, in the song American Idiot, it's not a super, it's kind of political, just because it's the title, American, but it's not necessarily, you can take it how you want to take it. I know Democrats and Republicans both then enjoy this album. So, American Idiot is the beginning. And I feel like the song is mostly just a man watching horrible things on television and the news and just being frustrated. And he wants to be different, and he wants to live his own life, and he wants to be his own person, and he wants to be an individual, but he doesn't know how to do that. So, he also writes in his journal in the album, and this sort of goes a long way for sort of showing you the narrative if you can't really pick it out of the lyrics, which you should be able to. If you can't, that's fine. But so on February 24th, the day after American Idiot happened, he wrote a letter to himself talking about not really taking care of himself. He's hanging out with his friends. He's smoking and blah blah. Buy me a beer, sir. Some underage drinking, perhaps. Meet me at the center of my miserable existence. A lot of obscenities. God Told You to Skin Me Alive is a nice reference to the album art of Insomniac, if you don't know. Nerd Boy. Some stuff about his stepdad. He's really unhappy with his home life. He needs a cigarette. He needs beer. He wants to get out of town. He wants to start a war. He's an angry youth. Essentially, an angry young man with a mother and a stepdad is where the story begins. In Jesus of Suburbia, which is March the 3rd in Jingletown, we are introduced to his way of life. Now, Jesus of Suburbia is a 10-minute song, and it could sort of be, the 5 parts could be like the overall arcing story of the entire album. But that's a little bit confusing for the second song to sort of tell the entire story. But I feel like it's just explaining his life situation, his problems, and then he runs away at the end of Jesus of Suburbia. But it's March the 3rd. He's drinking soda. He's on Ritalin. He's doing a lot of drugs. No one believes in him. He watches television. He's disenfranchised with his mother and Brad's relationship. Alcohol, cigarettes, marijuana. He's going insane. He's doing cocaine. He's not having a good life here in Jingletown, right? Things are pretty bad. He's a depressed teenager doing a lot of bad things. He's hanging out in the town. He's hanging out at the 7-Eleven with the usual suspects, and he's just not fitting in. He doesn't fit in anywhere. Everyone's dirty. Everything's gross. He's just disgusted with everything, and he stops caring. He's so hurt. He's so hurt that he stops caring about anything or anyone. I once had someone read this out loud, and she asked if she had to read all of the repeated lines, and I said yes. It's important. There's a reason he says I don't care a certain amount of times. Everyone is bogus. Everyone is fake and insincere. From Anaheim to the Middle East, it could be a slightly political statement there. The land of make-believe is just, he's so disenfranchised. And I'm gonna, moving on to the really beautiful, dearly beloved. It's Jesus of Suburbia Part 4. And here's some nice, lovely album art there with a wedding cake, a picture of a wedding cake. But I feel like he doesn't know where he fits in. He doesn't know what's happening. He just knows that he's damaged in some pretty significant ways already in his life, in his young life. So he's frustrated and he's ready to leave. He's leaving behind all the nonsense, all the lies, He's just been torturing himself, and that's his broken home. He's living in this horrible, broken home. He's fantasizing about robbing convenience stores. He's fantasizing about his own private war, which will be a significant theme later on as his relationship develops with what's her name? Amanda is her name. He's got plans. He's going to tell the bishop there's a resistance occurring. Everything is black and white. The good guys aren't wearing red, white, and blue. Hang your dark cloud over your dirty town. The end of the world is over. This is hell, and it's televised. My riot, my love, my country, the dawning of a new city, new faces, new voices, my voice, my city. Jay. Okay, so he's angry. He's ready to run. He was born to run, right? So April 1st, April Fool's Day, holiday is on April Fool's Day in the city. So in part 3, he's running away. He's going on a holiday from home with his friends. And he's actually at a protest. Now, what is the protest against? It could be anything. It's basically a war protest, and he realizes that on both sides are bad people on both sides. There's Bang Bang, which later on became another song. But yeah, Holiday, a great song. Some great artwork in here. And he's gone. He's left his mom and Brad, and he is all alone in the big city. And April 2nd, Boulevard of Broken Dreams is The Hangover. Some beautiful artwork here as well. Boulevard of Broken Dreams. He's done with the protest, and he's just alone, and he's extremely disturbed and extremely frightened of always being alone. He just has nobody. He has nothing. And in the little journal entry that goes along with Boulevard of Broken Dreams, is life imitating me? Or is this not what I imagined? I'm not going to read some of this evening. My dream is turning cold, but then he scratches it out and says blue. But I thought, good guys don't wear blue? I love this stuff. No one seems to agree on anything these days. This city, it's misting over the skyscrapers. The cement feels so damp, yet pretty all at once. Is rage imitating life? I feel like a civil war, like a knife in my heart. I've got an axe to grind, and it's splitting. My head open. No friends, no girls. I need both. I'm on the verge, Jay. So our main character here is going insane. He has no friends. He has no lady friends. He has no one. He has drugs and alcohol and loneliness and bitterness, and he doesn't fit in with anyone. This album, oh my gosh, it's just classic stuff here, right? Okay, so in number 5 is Are We the Waiting? And it is on Easter Sunday. So we had April Fool's Day, now we've got Easter Sunday. Okay, and it's more of Boulevard of Broken Dreams, lonely wandering of the streets. But in this one, he's not just lonely, but he's considering who he is, and he's considering where he fits in to the world. I'll be right back. Oh my gosh, guys. I apologize. This is crazy. I should not have stopped. I'm new phone. Long story. So, Jay, our main character, Jimmy or Jesus, whatever you want to call him, right? So, he is figuring out. He's figuring out that he's just completely alone and he needs something different. He's in a transitional period in Are We the Waiting. He's in between. He feels kind of like he's onto something with the drugs and alcohol and his friends that he went to the war protest with. But what was the real purpose of that? Right? What really did that do? He live in isolation. Heads or tails? Fairy tales in my mind. The rage and love story of my life. So here he actually acknowledges the Jesus of Suburbia is a lie. He's not the Jesus of Suburbia. You know, he was making himself out to be this martyr of something of epic proportions, when in reality he's just another man. He's just another human being on this planet, going through what we all go through, and he's waiting for something to happen. He's been waiting, and as he's waiting, Saint Jimmy, his alter ego, breaks through somehow. He loses it. He becomes this angry, embittered person. And on May the 7th, it all goes down, right? He loses his mind. He's not able to think clearly. He's going crazy, like a zip gun on parade. 1, 2, 3, 4. So in song number 6, Saint Jimmy, May the 7th, it's basically just him going nuts. Okay. He's just going nuts. And you'll see over the course of the album, the songs sort of go from fast to slow, fast to slow, fast to slow. And that's part of the theme, is that he's just sort of bouncing back and forth. And so St. Jimmy's here. You got some cool album artwork where he's dropping bombs. And he is ready to just tear the world apart. He's going to be the most ferocious punk rocker ever, and pretty cool. You know, I don't know who this is right here, but and don't wear it out. Okay, so there's the turning point of the album. Okay, so you go from depressed teenager, leaves home, he's lonely, and then he sort of snaps and goes crazy. Here we go. We're getting into some really deep, dark territory here in Give Me Novocaine. It's a beautiful acoustic sort of song. He's got a little note to his mom here, talking about doing drugs thanks to Jimmy. Now we're getting somewhere, nowhere, stinking badges, holy water, denial. He's talking about his friends and blah, 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 a few bucks. He's talking about the 7-Eleven again. He says, I am Satan, and he wants his mom to send money. It's pretty depressing stuff. If you've listened to the Network's Spike, that could tie into this a little bit. It feels like this is where that song would fit in, if you know anything about that. So, number 7. Give Me Novocaine. Okay, beautiful, beautiful lyric sheet here with some needles. And so, Jimmy is slipping, Jesus is slipping into extreme drug use. His alter ego, Jimmy, is telling him that this is, it's better than breathing, because the cocaine is so good. The drugs are so good. It's better than air. This is a desperate man. This is the story of a heartbroken man searching for something to make him complete. and he doesn't know what it is. So that's why I love the next song, which a lot of people don't like. But the next song is number 8, 8 Ball. A little 8 Ball there. July the 4th, Independence Day. A lot of the songs take place on holidays, which is cool, right? The song Holiday. You got a little, you got the heart like a hand grenade there, or grenade like a heart, as it were. But She's a Rebel, the only happy moment of the album. He meets a girl. Now the song is it's simultaneously about the Statue of Liberty and about this girl named Amanda, or what's her name. And he meets her, and she is amazing. And, you know, she's that girl. She's that, you know, she's the one that got away. She's the ultimate one who got away. And this is really the crucial part of American Idiot, where he falls for this girl while he's sort of in his drug fueled split personality. He's having a lot of issues when he meets this girl, but she's amazing. She's just the greatest girl. She's the symbol of resistance, and she's holding on my heart like a hand grenade. She's essentially America, and she's also Amanda. She's trouble. She's a twist of fate. The dawning of our lives, some stuff from Holiday comes up again. But on the next song, sadly, this is who could possibly be what's her name right there. And things don't stay happy for very long. Just, you know, a minute or two, like She's a Rebel. My heart is like a bomb. Went to a show, House, last night. Band sucked. But she's got my mother's eyes. Blue like my dreams. Good guys do wear black. She's calling me Jimmy. It's better than what's his face. That'll come up later in the trilogy. Could this be lust or the dawning? She thinks I'm full of crap, but she thinks I'm cute. Or is it the opposite? But we do agree on one thing. Good guys don't wear red, white, and blue. Jay. Now, I'm amazed that, I guess because not many people got this deluxe version with these little notes like this, but I'm surprised. Now, Green Day did get a little bit of flack, and I know a few people that felt like American Idiot was anti-American. But I'm surprised a lot of people didn't get upset about this good guys not wearing red, white, and blue. But I understand it, and I feel like within a certain context, I feel like I do feel like there are rules about the American flag where you shouldn't, you're not supposed to wear the flag as clothing, and I feel like a lot of patriotic people do that, and it's kind of offensive to the flag. You're only supposed to fly the flag, but you know, it's a free country, so whatever you want to do with your flag, I feel like you should be able to do it, whether it's good or bad, right? So things go bad for the character on the next track. Okay, so I'm going to back up a little bit. She's an extraordinary girl. Ordinary world. A lot of people were angry that Revolution Radio had a lot of recycled lyrics as song titles, but I think it was just a coincidence. Okay, Ordinary World. So she and he are in love. They're in a relationship, but things go wrong pretty quickly, and it doesn't really explain why. But she's crying. She sees images. So I think his drug problems and his alcohol problems and his personality problems are leading her to be, he's not a good man. He's got too many problems of his own to be a revolutionary. He's got too many problems to go up against this evil bishop that he keeps talking about. And he's not really doing anything for the cause, whatever What's-Her-Name's cause is, and whatever cause she and he belong to. He's just a junkie. So that is where our story is now. And it's just this album. I'm going to take the shaving cream off. That's how crazy this album is. Okay. Shaving cream's off. Never liked you either. St. Jimmy rules! Little bomb there. Some hints at things to come. And here's the letter bomb. Crucial, huge. This song is just... This song is written... It's a letter from What's-Her-Name to Jay. And things have went bad quickly. So August 18th. Let's just flip back. So he met her July 4th. July 4th to August 18th. So, very short relationship, and she's had it with him. He's a junkie. He's a junkie piece of crap. He's not changing the world. He's a junkie. He's an alcoholic junkie piece of garbage. And he's the hero of this album. Here's the main character of this album. Maybe What's-Her-Name is the protagonist, right? I would say, I would go out on a limb and say that she's actually the good guy. And good guys don't wear red, white, and blue, right? So, where has everybody gone? The underbelly stacks up 10 high. The dummy failed the crash test, now collecting unemployment checks. Like a flunky along for the ride. Now those lyrics, a flunky all along for the ride. Ooh, they bleeped out flunky a lot, and I actually heard myself performing this. It does sound like an obscenity in the song, so I kind of understand it. It sounds like the F word when it's really the flunky F word. But so, in this song, on August 18th, What's-Her-Name, Amanda, she's writing him a Dear John letter. Letter bomb could be called Dear John. So she's sort of calling him out on being the idiot. The town bishop is an extortionist, and he don't even know that you exist. Stand still when it's do or die. You better run for your flunky life. Okay, this is one of the best Green Day songs ever. Oh my gosh. The city's burning, and you're saying, it's not my burden. Where will all the martyrs go when the virus kills itself? And where will we all go when it's too late? This is where you learn the truth about Jimmy / Jesus of Suburbia. If you hadn't already figured it out, she calls him out. His name is Jay, but she says, you're not the Jesus of Suburbia. You're not this martyr that you think you are. You're not St. Jimmy either. The St. Jimmy is a figment of your father's rage and your mother's love. Signed, What's-Her-Name. But get this. Now that's sort of the end of the little note, but the rest of the song is from her too. Made me the idiot America. So that is huge. That is huge. That is the turning point of the album. I would say that's more the title than the title track. He made her the idiot America. What's-Her-Name is the American idiot, because he wasted her time. He wasted her time. He wasted her resources. And he's a junkie. So she's essentially leaving him for better things. So the end of the song is sort of him. Now, with the letters stopping before "Made Me the Idiot America," it could be said that maybe he's talking at the end where she made him the idiot America. But I believe it's her. I believe the entire thing is actually from her. Until the end where it says, she said, "I can't take this place. I'm leaving it behind. I can't take this town. I'm leaving you tonight." Oh my gosh. He's heartbroken. He's heartbroken, and which leads us to time to wake up. Okay? Time to wake up. And this was actually written, I'm probably going to cry reading about this song. A lot of people say that "Wake Me Up When September Ends" is not part of the narrative. It most certainly is. Now, it was written for Billie Joe Armstrong's father, who passed away in September when Billie was very young. But in the context of this story, what's-her-name has just dumped the main character, Jay. She's left him. So, that was August 18th. She dumped him. Right? Maybe he didn't get the letter immediately, but she dumped him. So she's gone. She leaves. She's gone. She's went somewhere else. And he is left alone. So in track 11, actually no, yeah, track 11 in the album is "Wake Me Up When September Ends." Now the legend, and I don't know, I've heard Billie Joe talk about this a little bit, and I've heard little memes, I've seen memes about this, but the heartbreaking story is that Billie Joe's dad died, and at the funeral, or after the funeral, he ran and hid somewhere, and his mother finally found him hiding in a closet. And she's trying to get him to come out. And he said, "Wake me up when September ends." And that's brutal. Having lost a parent, so this song "Wake Me Up When September Ends" is it's brutal. It's brutal. So in real life, it's about Billie Joe Armstrong's father passing away. In the terms of in the context of the album American Idiot, it's about what's-her-name dumping him. So different context, right? Huge difference in what it's about and what he's lost. But, time passes. I guess in the context of the album, I guess his father could have passed away as well. That's mentioned in the lyrics specifically. So his father dies, and his girlfriend left him, and he's extremely, extremely changed. He's left forever different in the wake of these tragedies. It's comedy and tragedy, right? So he's got a bus ticket here. He writes a note to Dad or God or whatever. "I stole some money from what's-her-name. She actually lent me the cash. I got a bus ticket home. I'm nothing like you. Too bad you'll never read this. I met the girl of my dreams. She's dead now. To me, anyway. I'm coming home in victory, arms open wide, sitting by a Greyhound toilet. Justice was served. The end of the world was hell all along. You were just too stupid to notice. That's why I love you. First stop, convenience store. I got lies to tell. Glory never felt so good. I'll buy my own beer, thank you very much. P.S. Take a bleeping shower. J. Now, I don't know if that's to Dad or Brad. Is Brad Dad now? I don't know. Man, this is just emotional as crap, right? Like I'm crying. I'm crying over here. So we're getting towards the conclusion of the American Idiot album. We've got the 5-part Homecoming, and then we've got the ending, which is What's Her Name. Okay, so in Homecoming, which is October 19th, and it's number 12, we get essentially the main character is coming home after all this death and tragedy and drug abuse and relationship turmoil that he's been through. He's been through war and back, right? He's been through war. So he's, the years are going by, the nights are going by. He's learned to live in the streets. The drugs, the sex. He's just ripped apart, right? He's just ripped apart as a human. And he's sort of, let's see. He doesn't know who to blame, but the big element in Homecoming Part 1 is Jimmy. I can't do that on video probably, but Jimmy kills himself, which is a symbolic suicide. Some people take it literally, but I think it's, he symbolically gets rid of his crazy, negative, rebellious side, right? He gets rid of that part of himself. Maybe he gets clean in this song. So he's getting clean. Here's a little image of maybe Jesus of Suburbia, maybe just Jay, right? Maybe that's him as Jay, right? Okay, so in part 2 of Homecoming is East 12th Street. Not East Jesus Nowhere. Nobody cares. Again, there's just that theme of no one gives a crap about anybody. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. Nobody. Okay. Jesus is filling out paperwork. He's got a job. I guess he's cleaned up his act and he has a job doing paperwork on East 12th Street. He's kind of daydreaming because he's not happy here either, right? Like, he realized being a drug-addled punk rocker wasn't his thing, but, doing paperwork in an office, come on. That's not really that great either, right? So he'd rather be hanging out with the usual suspects over there, the underbelly. And this sort of alludes to What's Her Name saying, she left. She had enough and he's had plenty, right? She had enough. She left him and he's been drinking. Maybe he's been drinking a little bit here. He wants to get out. He really needs to get out. This part really reminds me of Queen, where the "Somebody get me out of here. Anybody get me out of here." So he wants to get away. He wants to be free. He wants to get out of this life. Like, dream ain't for me. And see, this is cool. Here's some more street shots here. Then, let's see. I hope I can upload this whole thing to YouTube. So this is one of my favorite parts of American Idiot. And here's another shot of the television where it's been shot in the screen. And it's an Angel television now. It's went to television heaven. Nobody Likes You. So I feel like this was a song written by Mike Dirnt, and it was a huge part of the start of American Idiot getting written. So it doesn't... Okay, so this is Homecoming Part 3, Nobody Likes You. And I feel like there's some debate about what character this is that Mike is singing. But I think it's just basically everyone is just still in this cataclysmic world of American Idiot. Everyone is alone and no one cares about anyone. And I feel like the main character is just sort of wanting something. Could be one of his friends writing him a letter saying, you know, hey, we're kind of left in the lurch here, right? I love this. This is a really cool image. You guys have probably seen that image on some other things, some other singles of Billy Joe, the cigarette and dynamite. And then he gets a postcard from his friend Toonie. This is really interesting because it's his friend Toonie writing a letter to St. Jimmy, New York. You can see that it's scribbled out. So Jingletown is New York. But Toonie is saying how great his rock and roll life is. He's got another ex-wife. He's got a rock and roll house, rock and roll car. He's got kids all over the place. He hasn't drank or smoked in 22 days. So get off of my case. I'd say this is sort of just a rundown of like hearing from people about how they've been and how things are now that the dust is settled and his girl's gone and his punk rock days are kind of behind him. And here we are at the final part of Homecoming. We're coming home again. And, you know, this is the homecoming. So everyone's coming back to town after their long journey through the world. So time has come and it's gone nowhere. So the world is spinning around. The 7-Eleven, the fear of breaking down. Letter bomb is there's a callback to Letter bomb here. She's still gone. But we're the ones going home. We're coming home again. Home. We're coming home again. Home. 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 We're coming home again. So he's back in the barrio, but to you and me, that's Jingletown. So he's back in New York City, baby. But he's still got that feeling that nobody likes you. Everyone left you. They're all out with fun. They're all out without you, having fun. In the real world, it was, you know, Mike, the nobody likes you. Mike was in the studio by himself. He was a little aggravated that no one was coming to the studio on time. Yeah, nice little what's her name. Hello, my name is what's her name? Amanda. Right? Amanda. I found out on Trey. It was Amanda. Amanda, don't you know I was just a stupid kid in my wild mind. Okay, so we are at the conclusion of American Idiot and the powerful, powerful last track. It had a music video that was garbage that was never released, probably because it was garbage. But it had some of the characters back from the Jesus of Suburbia music video, which was amazing. I don't know, maybe they were going to add some more stuff to it, but the unreleased What's Her Name video is just a girl. It's just the actress dancing around. Not very good. But January 1st, a new year. So all that has happened. It's a brand new year. And you know, the characters, it's essentially boiled down to this one man as he's stopped, he's gotten himself clean, but he still doesn't have anybody with him. He's lost so much. He's lost a father, he's lost friends, he's lost a girl, he's lost his punk rock ideals, he's lost his fun. You know, he's working an extremely boring job on East 12th Street. Everybody knows there's no fun to be had on East 12th Street. So where does that leave him? Where does that leave our main character? I think he's. It seems, at least maybe not necessarily through the lyrics, but through the musical journey, is that he's found himself. I feel like Homecoming sort of has a deeper meaning, in that he's found himself in that wonderful Green Day way of, yes, I'm screwed up, but I've discovered that I'm not a punk rocker. I'm not just a cubicle monster on East 12th Street. I am an individual, and that is how I will exist from this moment on, after all these things that have made me the man that I am. Does that make sense? I feel like that's the underlying message of American Idiot, is don't be rebellious for the sake of rebellion. Don't be a cubicle loser for the sake of being a cubicle loser. Be an individual and be a rebel, but make it positive rebellion. And I feel like that's the overall theme of the album, is negative rebellion and insincere rebellion versus positive rebellion and sincere rebellion, and actually believing in it. And it's such an interesting topic, because how can you be genuine in this world? How can you genuinely be something? How can you genuinely be yourself? And that is the overall message that I believe is the core idea of American Idiot. Let's get into the final song of the album. What's Her Name? Fantastic song. He thought that he ran into her in the street, but it was just a dream. Then he talks about, the breakup was difficult. I would imagine, writing something like this about someone. What's her name? Amanda Jones. Your holy grace was the love of his life. You're the love of my life. And it was so difficult. He had to burn the photographs of her. He wanted to forget about her. She went away, and I took a different path. He got a job. He cleaned up. He remembers her face, but he can't recall the name. I don't know how much time has went by here, but it takes a long time to forget somebody's name, especially when you've been through something like this with them. Now I wonder how what's her name has been. Seems that she disappeared without a trace. Did she ever marry old What's-His-Face? He shows up on the trilogy later in Green Day's career. I made a point to burn all the photographs. She went away, and then I took a different path. That line is repeated again, and its significance cannot be ignored. Again, he's so brokenhearted. He wanted to forget her. He tried to forget her. He tried to destroy her, and he could not. Maybe 20 years later, he could not. He remembers the face, but can't recall the name. I wonder how what's her name has been. And then the song builds up and swells. Remember, whatever. He tries to shake it off. He tries to shake off, I remember, whatever. It was 20 years ago. It seems like forever ago. Okay? The regrets are useless in my mind. But she's in there, I must confess. The regrets are useless in my mind. That it's repeating the same lines over and over. She's in my head from so long ago. He can't forget. And in the darkest night, if my memory serves me right, I'll never turn back time. Forgetting you, but not the time. Underlined. Good gracious, guys. If you're not emotionally exhausted after that, it's so I wish that when I first saw this, I wish that this would have been recorded. There's this little poem at the end, and oh my gosh, I'm gonna read this to you guys now. I wish that Billy Joe would have read this at the end of American Idiot. It would have just This is the end, okay? And that was that, or so it seemed. Is this the end or the beginning? All I know is she was right. I am an idiot. It's even on my birth certificate in so many words. This is my rage. This is my love. This is my town. This is my city. This is my life. Then you get a burnt photograph of what's her name. He remembers her name. He knows who she is. Album in there. Beautiful classic album. Okay, guys, that's what do you guys think about American Idiot? I'm sure there's been a few little discussions about the album online before, but I feel like that was a little bit off the cuff. Like I said, I would love to write a novelization of it. I don't know how I would go about doing that, but I've tried. Wow, what an emotional roller coaster. And even, and I know Breakdown was kind of a sequel in maybe a spiritual sequel, but, in this poem where he's talking about, or so it seemed, and that was that, or so it seemed. Is this the end or the beginning? So, will there be an American Idiot Part 2? I feel like they've touched upon the story again and again, mostly because it's really the true life story of Billy Joe Armstrong and his coming of age story. Essentially, it's a coming of age story. It's a girl meets boy, girl leaves boy story. It's a political story. It's a non-political story, and it's just a lot of fun to listen to. Will there ever be an American Idiot Part 2? Father of All, their 2020 album released in February 7th. It had the similar artwork, but not really a sequel. There's and to this day, people still say, they just can't top American Idiot. I don't think that's the point. I think we all realized that it was a special album by a special band, and it's not they're not meant to do something like it again. And that's what it is. It's 16 years later, and I'm still just making videos about it. 16 years later, I can't think of many things at all that just hold up that well. So, you guys, big shout out to Green Day Authority for being a supportive web community for me to be a member of all these years. And you guys have a good night. Bye.